Today I will read a portion of the philosopher Ston, Chapter 12. The Mirror of Irrescience. Christmas was coming. One morning in mid-December, Howard woke to find itself covered in several feet of snow. The lake froze solid and Wesley's twins were punished for bewitched several snowballs so that they followed whirl around, pouncing off the back of his turban. The few owls that managed to panel their way through the stormy sky to delivery way had to be nursed back to hell by Hagrid before they could fly off again. No one could wait for the holiday to start while the Gryffindor common room and the Great Hall had roaring fires. The drafty corridors had become icy and Peter wind rattled the window in the classroom. Worst of all were Professor Snape's classes down in the dungeons, where their breath rose in a mist before them and they kept as close as possible to their hot cauldron. I don't feel so sorry, said Draco Malfoy, one potion glass, for all those people who have to stay at Hogwarts for Christmas because they are not wanted at home. He was looking over at Harry as he spoke. Crepe and golden chocolate. Harry, who was measuring out powered by a flying fish, ignored them. Malfoy had been even more unpleased than usual since the Quidditch match. Disgust that Slytherin had lost. He had tried to get everyone laughing at how a wide-mouthed tree frog would be replacing Harry as key seeker next. Then he realized that nobody found this funny because they were all so impressed at the way Harry had managed to stay on his bucking from so Malfoy, jealous and angry, had gone back to taunting Harry about having no proper family. It was true that Harry wasn't going back to private drive for Christmas. Professor and McGonagall had come around the week before, had making a list of students who be stay, staying for the holidays, and Harry had signed up at once. He didn't feel sorry for himself at all. This would probably be the best Christmas he did ever have. Ron and his brother were staying too because Mayor and Miss Weasley were going to Romania to visit Charlie. When they left the dungeons at the end of the potion, they found a large fire tree blocking the corridor ahead. Two enormous feet sticking out at the bottom, and loud buffing sound told them that Hagrid was behind it. "Hi, Hagrid. Want any help?" Ron asked, sticking his head through the branch. Nah, I'm alright, thanks, Ron. Would you mind moving out of the way? Came Malfoy, cold door from behind them. Are you trying to earn some extra money, Wesley? Hoping to be gamekeeper yourself when you leave Hogwarts? I suppose that hurt of Hagrid must seem like a place compared to what your family used to. Ron dived at Malfoy just as Snape came up the stairs. Weasley, Ron let go of the front of Malfoy's robes. He was broke. Professor Snape, said Hagrid, sticking his huge, hairy face out from behind a tree. Malfoy was insulting his family. Be that as it may, fighting is against Hogwarts rules, Hagrid, said Snape secretly. 5 boys from Gryffindor, Weasley, and you'll be grateful it isn't more. Move along, all of you. Malfoy grabbed angrily pushed slowly past the tree, scattering needles everywhere and smirking. "Oh, get him!" said Ron, gritting his teeth, and Malfoy back one of today as will get him. "I hate them both," said Harry. Malfoy insisted.
Cheers. Nearly Christmas, said Hagrid. Tell you what, come with me and see the Great Hall looks a treat. So the three of them followed Hagrid and his tree off to the Great Hall, where Professor McGonagall and Professor Flitwick were busy with the Christmas decoration. Hagrid, the last three, but eating the four corner, were you? The hall looked spectacular. Festoons of holly and mistletoe hung all around the walls, and no less than 12 towering Christmas trees all around the room, some sparkling with tiny icky gold, some glittering with hundreds of candles. The hall how many days you got left until your holidays? Hagrid asked. Just one, said Hermione. And that remind me, Harry and Ron, we have got an hour before lunch. We should be in the library. Oh yeah, you're right. Ron, tearing his eye away from Professor Flitwick, who had golden bubbles blossoming out of his wand and was running them over the branch of the new tree. "Library," said Hagrid, following them all out of the hall just before the holidays began. "Aren't you?" "Oh, we are not working," Harry told him brightly. "Even since you mentioned Nicholas Flamel, we have been trying to find out who he is." "You what?" Hagrid looked shocked. "Listen here. I have to you drop it. It's nothing to you what that dog's goody. We just want to know who school Nicholas Flamel is. That's all," said Hermione Granger. "Unless you decline to tell us and save the trouble," Harry added. "We must have been through hundreds of books already, and we can't find him anywhere. Just give us a hint. I know I have read his name somewhere." "I'm saying nothing," said Harry flatly. "Just have to find out for ourselves then," said Ron. And they left Hagrid looking disgruntled and hurried off to the library. They looked in it, being searching books for flame name ever since Hagrid had let it slip, because how else were they going to find out what Snape was trying to steal? The trouble was, it was very hard to know where to begin, not knowing what Flame might have done to get himself into a book. He wasn't a great wizard of 20th century or notable magical name of our time. It was missing too from important modern magical discovery and study of recent development in wizardry, and then of course there was the sheer size of the library. Rest of narrow roads. Hermione took out a list of subjects and titles she had decided to search while Ron strode off down a row of books and started pulling them off the shelves at random. Harry wandered over to research session. He had been wondering for a while if Flame wasn't somewhere in there. Unfortunately, you needed a special signed note from one of the teachers to look in any restricted book, and he knew he did never get one. These were the book containing powerful dark magic never told at Hogwarts and only read by older students studying advanced defense against the dark arts. What are you looking for, boy? Nothing, said Harry. Madame brings the librarian brandished a feather duster at him. You'd better get out, then go on out. Wishing he did being a big wicker at thinking up some story. Harry left the library. He and Ron and Hermione had already agreed they'd better not ask Madame bring things where they could find Flame. They were sure she'd be able to tell them, but they couldn't risk Snape hearing what they were up to. Harry waited outside in the corridor to see if the other two had found anything, but he wasn't very hopeful. They had been looking for 2 weeks after all, but as they only had odd moments between lessons, it was surprising they did found nothing. What they really needed was a nice long search without Madame Binks breathing down their neck. 5 minutes later, Ron and Hermione joined him, shaking their heads. They went off to lunch. You will keep looking while I'm away, won't you? Said Hermione, and send me an owl if you find anything. And could ask your parents if they know who Flame is. Said Ron, it'd be safe to ask them, very safe, as they are both dentists, said Hermione, once the holiday had started. Ron and Harry were having too good time to think much about old Flame, and the dormitory to themselves, and the common room was far emptier than usual, so they were able to get the good armchairs by the fire. They sat by the owl eating anything they could spare on toasting fork bread, English muffins, marshmallows, and plotting ways of getting Malfoy expelled, which were fun to talk about even if they wouldn't work. Ron also started teaching Harry wizard chess. It was exactly like Muggle Jam except that creatures were alive, which made it large line directing troops in battle. Ronset was very old and patriot like everything else. He always had one to someone else in his family. In this case, his grandfather, however, old Jasmine wasn't a drawback at all. Ron knew them so well he never had trouble getting them to do what he wanted. Harry played with Jasmine Mrs. Finnegan had lent him, and they didn't trust him at all. He wasn't a very good player yet, and they kept shouting different bits of advice at him, which was confusing. Don't send me there. Can you see his knight? Send him. He can afford to lose him on Christmas Eve. Harry went to bed looking forward to the next day for the food and the fun, but not expecting any present at all. When he woke early in the morning, however, the first thing he saw was a small pile of baggage at the foot of his bed. Merry Christmas, said Ron sleepily as Harry screamed out of bed and pulled on his bathrobe. You too, said Harry. Will you look at this? I have got some present. What did you expect, turnips? Said Ron, turning to his old pie, which was a lot bigger than Harry. Harry picked up the top pickle. It was wrapped in thick brown paper. Ross it was to Harry from Hagrid. Inside was really good cut wooden flute. Harry had obviously wanted to hit himself. Harry blew it sounded like big like an owl. A second very small package contained a note. We received your message and enclosed your Christmas present from Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia. Tapped to the note was 15 pence piece. That's friendly, said Harry. Ron was fascinated by 15 pence. Where? He said, what a shame this is money. You can keep it, said Ron, laughing at how pleased Ron was. Hagrid and Miles and Uncle Soul, who sent it? I think I know who that's one from, said Ron, turning a big bang and pointing to very back of my mom. I told her you did expect any present, and oh no, he cried. She's had made you a Weasley sweater. Harry had torn open the package to find a thick hand-knitted sweater in emerald green and a large box of homemade fudge. Every year she makes us a sweater, said Ron, unwrapping his own, and mine always maroon. That's really nice of her, said Harry, trying to fudge, which was very tasty. His next present also contained candy, a large box of chocolate frogs from Hermione. This only left one pickle. Harry picked it up and felt it. It was very light. He unwrapped it. Something flew and silvery green went slithering ring to the floor where it lay in gleaming folds. Ron gasped. I have heard of this, he said in a hushed voice, dropping the box of every flavor pinks he got it from Hermione. If that was I think they're really rare and really valuable. What is it? Harry picked the shiny silver cloth off the floor. It was strange to touch, like water woven into material. It's an invisibility cloak. Said a look of awe on his face. I'm sure it's a. Try it on. Harry threw the cloak around his shoulder, and Ron gave a yell. It's he. Look down. Harry looked down at his feet, but they were gone. He dashed to the mirror. Sure enough, his reflection one looked back at him. Just his head suspended in mirror, his body completely invisible. He pulled the cloak over his head, and his reflection vanished completely. There's the note. Sharon suddenly. A note fell out of it. Harry pulled it off the clock and sized the letter, written in narrow looping writing he had never seen before were the following words. Your father left this in my possession before he died. It is time it was returned to you. You as well. A Merry Christmas to you. There was no signature. Harry stared at the note. Ron was admiring the clock. I did give anything for one of these. He said, anything? What's the matter? Nothing. Say Ron, Harry. He felt very strange. who had sent the clock. Had it really once belonged to his father before he could say or think anything else? The dormitory door was full open, and Fred and George Willis pulled in. Harry stuffed the clock quickly out of sight. He didn't feel like sharing it with anyone else yet. Merry Christmas. Hey look, Harry got a Weasley sweater too. Fred and George were wearing blue sweater, one with a yellow F on it and the other a G. Harry is better than I ever thought, said Fred, holding up Harry's sweater. She advised make more of an effort if you are not family. Why aren't you wearing yours, Ron? George demanded. Come on, get it on. They are lovely and warm. I hate Marian. Ron mouthed half-heartedly as he pulled it over his head. You haven't got a letter on yours. George observed. I suppose she think you don't forget your name, but we are not stopping. We know we are college grad forge. What all this noise? Percy Weasley stuck his head through the door, looking disapproving. He had clearly gotten halfway through unwrapping his present as he, too, carrying a sleepy sweater over his head, which Fred size. Before prefect, get it on, Percy. Come on, we are wearing ours. Even Harry got one. I don't want, said Percy thickly as the twins forced the sweater over his head, knocking his glasses askew. And you are not sitting with prefects today either, said George. Christmas is a time for family. They frog marched Percy from the room, his arm pinned to his side by his sweater. Harry had never in his life had such a Christmas dinner. 100 fat roast turkey, baton of roast, and boiled potatoes, platter of chipolatas, children's of poached pig, silver pot of thick, rich gravy and cranberry sauce, and stack of wizard cracker every filled fit along the table. These fantastic party favors were nothing like the feeble muggle one the Dursley usually bought with their little plastic toys and their flimsy paper hats inside. Harry pulled at a wizard cracker with Fred and it did just bang. It went off with a blast like a cannon and engulfed them all in a cloud of blue smoke while from inside exploded a real admiral's hat and several live with wide eyes. Up at high table, Dumbledore had waved his spotted wizard hat for a flowered bonnet and was jokingly merely at a joke Professor Philwick had just read him. Flaming Christmas pudding followed the turkey. Percy nearly broke his tea on a silver teacup and bit it in his slide. Harry watched Hagrid getting redder and redder in the face, and he called for more wine. Finally kisses Professor McGonagall on the cheek, who, to Harry's amazement, giggled and blushed. Her top lopsided when Harry left the table. He was letting down with a stagger of things out of the cracker, including a pack of non-spoilatable Lamia's balloons, a crown You all want kids, and his all do without yes said. The mind was had despair, and Harry had a nasty feeling they were going to end up as mere Norris Christmas dinner. Harry and Wesley spent a happy afternoon having a furious snowball fight on the ground. Then, cold, wet, and gasping for breath, they returned to the fire in the Gryffindor common room, where Harry broke in his nail chest set by losing spectacularly to Ron. He suspected he wouldn't have lost so badly if Percy hadn't tried to help him so much. After a meal of turkey, sandwiches, crumpets, trifle, and Christmas cakes, everyone felt too full and sleepy to do much before bed except sit and watch Bertie chase Fred and George all over Gryffindor Tower because they did stolen his prefect badge. It had been Harry's best Christmas Day ever, yet something had been nagging at the back of his mind all day. Not until he climbed into bed was he free to think about it. The invisibility clock and whoever had set it ran full of chocolate cake, and with nothing mysterious to bother him, fell asleep almost as soon as he drew the curtain of his four-poster. Harry leaned over the side of his old bed and pulled the clock out from under it. His father, thus having his feathers, he let the material flow over his head, muster, then silk, light as air. You it well, the note had said. He had to try it now. He slipped out of bed and wrapped a cloak around himself, looking down at his legs. He saw only moonlight and shadow. It was very funny feeling. You as well. Suddenly Harry felt wide awake. The world of Hogwarts was open to him in this clock. Excitement flooded through him as he stood there in dark silence. He could go anywhere in this anywhere and fetch whatever they Ron grunted in his sleep. Shivered Harry wake him. Something held him back. His father clock. He felt that this time, the first time he wanted to use it alone. He gripped out of the dormitory, down the stairs, across the common room, and climbed through the porch hole. Who's there? Swaggered the fat lady. Harry said nothing. He walked quickly down the corridor. Where should he go? He stopped, his heart racing and thought. And there it came to him the restrict section in the library. He'd been able to read as long as he liked, as long as it took to find who Flame was. He set off, drawing invisibility clock tie around him as he walked. The library was pitch black and very eerie. Harry lit a lamp to see his way along rows of books. The lamp looked as if it was floating along in middle, and even though Harry could feel his arms supporting it, the sight gave him creeps. The restricting processor was right at the back of the library. Stepping carefully over a room that separated this book from the rest of the library. He felt up his lamp to read the title. They didn't tell him much. They peeling faded gold letters spelling words in languages Harry couldn't understand. Some had no title at all. One book had a dark sand on it. that looked horribly like blood. The hair on the back of Harry's neck prickled. Maybe he was imagining it, maybe not, but he thought of fate whispering was coming from books as though they knew someone was there who shouldn't be. He had to start somewhere. Setting lay down carefully on the floor, he looked along the bottom shelf for an interesting looking book. A large black and silver volume caught his eye. He pulled it out with difficulty because it was very heavy and placing it on his knee. Let it fall open. A Percy politically shrieking, spilling the silence. The book was screaming. Harry's name is short, but the scrape went on and on, quite high, unbroken, ear-splitting notes. He stumbled backward and knocked it over his lamp, which went out at once. Panicking, he heard footsteps coming down the corridor outside, stopping the squeaking book back on the shelf. He ran for it. He passed Filch in the doorway. Filch, big wide eyes, looked straight through him, and Harry slipped under Filch's outstretched arm and dragged off up the corridor, the book screen still ringing in his ear.